So let's talk about this. This is something that I know you have to be really careful because I even think with like guidelines and stuff on YouTube, you have to. I don't even know if you can mention January 6th and not say that it was the worst insurrection in our time. So look, let me be really clear about something here. Anyone who committed an actual crime on January 6th should be charged. Ultimately and convicted of that crime.
Absolutely.
Trespassing, obviously, misdemeanor. If there's actual assault in many cases is misdemeanor. I just believe that and if anyone actually brought a deadly weapon and used it, of course, should be charged with that crime. You know, I just want that same standard to be applied to January 6th and the Black Lives Matter riots.
Yeah. Right.
I'm totally open to an investigation, January 6th. If you investigate Black Lives Matter and the source of the funding, because we're talking about way more anyway, I'll get to those stats in a second. But this is one of those things that I think everyone else has sort of tiptoed around, where you either have extremists who say nothing happened at all, and then you have people who say it was the worst insurrection, worst uprising, most violent event of our time. I don't think either of those are true.
Right.
Yeah.
But sort of like we've talked about the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, look, the standard that you have to use is how does it compare to other vaccines, not how does it compare to COVID, right? That's the standard when people are making these, or they're discussing the issue in the medical community, because there's a standard, right? You sort of have to have, okay, this is a standard bearer right here. Yeah. That's sort of our starting point. And I think that's what we need to do here with the January 6th incidents. Can anyone else agree that that's a fair approach? I'm trying to be as fair-minded as I can, but still, if you watch media, CNN, and they're just hysterically covering January 6th.
Some Republican lawmakers are following Trump's example, trying to rewrite what happened on January 6th. For instance, by calling the attackers, quote, peaceful patriots.
This morning, we are getting our first look at a new Senate report highlighting the significant security issues that unfolded before and during the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
You know, as an American, I went there to advocate for this commission,
for neck tats,
which I believe is necessary, really, to get to the root causes of January 6th.
Donald Trump's role in the riot. In fact, Senate Democrats even avoided using the word insurrection to describe the insurrection.
Okay, really quickly, look at this right now on CNN. This just happens to be going on live.
Right now.
Lawyer, Rioter says, Rioter argues he felt threatened by hero officer. Jensen's initial attraction to QAnon, so they're trying to associate it with QAnon. Look,
of course.
Let me be really clear. I'm sure there were some people there, of course, who were if you look, QAnon is idiotic to me. It was so proven verifiably false, okay? Yeah. It has nothing to do with people who voted for Donald Trump and the hundreds of thousands of people who were there who were peaceful patriots. And certainly the people who Donald Trump identified as his supporters, saying, peacefully make your voices heard. So, you know, and by the way, really quickly, if you have kids watching right now, I would advise you to probably have them leave the room, because we are going to show side by side the absolute worst footage from the January 6th riots, the worst possible footage, side by side with the Black Lives Matter riots and the Antifa riots. So I just want to warn you, it's not that we're trying to, but I don't think it's age appropriate. Not a trigger warning. Right. I just don't want 9-year-olds watching it because it disturbed me.
Absolutely.
They wanted a 9/11 style commission to investigate the January 6th riots. Republicans filibustered it.
Yeah.
So what they want to do it with a filibuster?
Yeah. All of a sudden,
for all of the things.
They were huge fans when 50-something%, I think it was 48% of them used it to block civil rights. Now it's like, wait a second. You want to block a bias commission? Again, I think that you could have a deal. If we talk about bipartisan, guarantee you Republicans would sign on to it if you say, also, same commission to Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots. It's a deal I'd take tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yep. And why do you think they're doing this, Stephen? There are multiple investigations that are ongoing right now. In fact, the report that they're citing was an investigation into what happened on January 6th.
Does anyone know the name of the officer who, the only person who killed anybody, Ashley Babbitt?
No.
Nope.
And by the way, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that was, we don't even know if that was a bad shot.
I just want to know, I want an investigation to happen to tell us, here's why it happened.
Right.
Like every other shooting that we've had to cover over the last 2 years.
Who shot who? I mean, do you really need a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar, trillion-dollar rounding error at this point to find out, one person shot somebody? Who? Because we have these reports. We have these investigations. It was like with Brett Kavanaugh. We need you just did an investigation. Well, we need another one.
We need another one.
We need it to take longer.
You've done several.
All
I mean, we have her saying it happened, so let's do this.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Otherwise, like, well, they don't call it an insurrection, even though it was an insurrection. I'm like, well, no, you just can't define it yourself.
We're calling it an insurrection now.
You didn't call it a riot all summer either.
No.
Yeah, you called it
mostly peaceful while someone's Grand Marquis was on fire behind you.
You said teenagers were mostly peaceful protests.
And look, I don't like Grand Marquis
Don Lemon
either.
said, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
So, look, let me give you some quick snapshots here before we show the video footage, because I really think this is something that I wish was out there, and it's not. Again, send your kids away. Riots, $2 billion in property damage. That was, by the way, just up until June 2020. Okay?
That's
$2 billion.
all of them.
You can't find those numbers anymore.
Really?
There's no updated number. If I were to guess, probably $4 billion.
Yeah.
This is just a June 2020.
At least double.
The summer of love
at least
was
double,
only
and that
just
was a
getting
low
started.
estimate when we're just talking about insurance claims and actually talking about what government can observe. Again, all of our sources are available at louderwithcrowder.com. The capital damage was 1.5 million. That's the newest estimate.
Wow.
Down from the original estimate of 30 million. Just to keep clear, with the Black Lives Matter, right, the estimate went maybe $500 million, $1 billion, $2 billion, and they stopped.
And then
And stop.
And now with the Capitol riot, it goes 30 million, 20, 1.5, and then stops. Just look at the trends. Again, we have to compare the two of these to be fair. I have a number here, actually. So the Black Lives Matter riots cost, in June 2020, 1,333% more.
So that's a lot more.
Is it
you could
more?
say more.
Black Lives Matter, over 1,000 officer casualties. They're saying casualties includes severe injury and death. Capitol, only one person was killed, Ashley Babbitt, by an officer. We don't know about him. Not even saying it was an unjustified shooting. I don't know. Other 4 who died, including Sicknick, who we were told was beaten in the head with a fire. Well, that's not true. Died of natural causes. And here's something you'll also never see. Okay, Black Lives. Before we get to the what you see, the destruction. And there was destruction on January 6th.
Yes.
Not anywhere near 1,333% less as of June 20th. But
well, the people that got in were ants at a picnic, and I'll say.
Right, yes. Here's something but it is important to note. Most of the people were let in willingly. A lot of people don't know this because they'll never show you this. Now, this is, in other words, it's more so the equivalent to people who break through the gates at at a Led Zeppelin concert, at a Van Halen reunion, right? Because they're trying to get front seats. They're allowed in that venue, but so they were allowed in the venue of the Capitol. We need to be clear about that. Doesn't mean that once they're in there, they didn't then, of course, break the law.
Right.
But that's very different from, remember, anyone who lives in a city? Remember all the doors were barricaded? Wood panels over every single window? Very, very different from that. And all right, come on in, just, don't get too rambunctious. So let me show you this. As a matter of fact, just as a perfect example, you'll watch this clip. Even the QAnon shaman says, let's keep it peaceful. And you see a Capitol officer, I believe black, say, hey, I don't agree with you, but I respect your right to do it. As they walk right past.
Wow.
Let me know if you've ever seen this before. Roll clip.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
As they're being waved on.
And they just breached the Capitol again. ACAF.
Here's where the guy says it. Watch.
You can disagree with it, but respect it.
Respect it.
The insurrection had door guys and a metal detector.
They got
ushers.
And cooperate peacefully, like our First Amendment allows. Gather more Americans under the condition that they will come and gather peacefully to discuss what needs to be done to save our country.
Show us no attacking, no assault, remain calm.
We're not going to assault. We're going to be heard. Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This has to be peaceful. We have the right to peacefully assemble.
Now, is that just the guy's voice, or is he permanently doing a Grover voice and character?
Yeah. It's definitely, it's a little bit of, what was the trash can guy? Oscar?
A little bit of Oscar.
A little bit of Oscar.
We have to peaceably assemble. It's almost like what's it? I just forget. Bruce Wayne ordering coffee. Like, I would like a soy. Sorry, like a soy latte.
Oops. I don't have the mask on.
It's in the eyes. So I just say that
it's all that guy's fault. Let's be honest.
It's all that.
If that guy didn't show up with his dumb horns, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
That's the least surprising thing about him is his voice.
And my point is, you can say that
helmet.
someone who is there, who is invited in willingly by the Capitol officers, saying, everyone, We need to make our voices peacefully heard. Do you really think it's white supremacy to call that person a peaceful patriot?
Yeah.
That was basically a guided tour by a Seth Rogen lookalike.
Yeah, and then one of the people in politics said, I can't remember the guy's name, but he said it looks like more like a tour. He was pointing to that kind of video.
Right.
And we'll show you video of other stuff that was going on.
So I want to be clear. So now this is the footage that I want to show you, because this is something that the media will not show you. Footage side by side here of the worst possible footage we can find from January 6th. This actually came from the House impeachment managers, just to be clear. I wanted to find the absolutely most severe footage of January 6th so you can see the worst of it and juxtapose that with just some footage from the riots that took place over the last year, because we couldn't fit it all in. And I just want you, and genuinely, the best thing you can, comment below. Look, people have blind spots. If I have a blind spot and we think that these are actually comparable and that the January 6th riots deserve 10 times the air coverage, some people have had estimates as high as 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of these riots. Let me know. Kids, leave the room. Here you go. January 6th, Summer of Love.
OG, come on, stay with me, OG. OG.
Zone. There's been yet another shooting early this morning.
Top security shot at those people in the Jeep after they ran into the barricades here. So there's another group they're meeting with there, and then they'll be moving in a few minutes, so be ready.
Take the clip out and put it back in.
No one's gonna like me walking here.
Thank you.
OG, come on, stay with me, OG. OG, stay with me. Stay with me, OG. Stay with me, OG. Come on, OG. Come on, OG.
For those of you who don't remember, that was Officer David Dorn, black man.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying all... sorry, I have to have a lozenge in my throat here right now. Michael Douglas. I'm not saying that all officers are heroes, but certainly an off-duty one who showed up to help his community and stop someone else from being robbed. That was Officer David Dorn. For people who don't remember, because we have such short memories, that was a long-time police officer in Missouri, black man, his entire life, who created and ran programs to help underprivileged youth. And he showed up that night because a friend called whose shop was being torn down. I don't remember if it was being burned down and looted.
Looted, yeah.
And he was shot dead in the street. And there's a lot of that. There are a lot of deaths at the rallies over the summer.
Yeah.
And they're undercounted, but you're still looking at dozens. All sources available at louderwithcrowder.com. So, just one thing. Haven't seen it anywhere else. Yeah. You guys let me know. Hey, if I've got a blind spot, if January 6th is because statistically it's not.
No.
But if you feel it's worse in spirit, great. Okay.
Well, and you're not excusing the people that acted up at the insurrection.
No, we're condemning them.
Exactly.
If there's any ambiguity about our statements, if you broke the law on January 6th, you should be arrested, you should be tried, and if you were guilty, you should be convicted. Sorry.
And if you were committing arson and serious felonies over the course of this entire year, adding to the, $2 billion in damages just by June 2020, likely $4 billion now, you should also be arrested and not catch and release.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.